Hi guys, this is JP from FSiPanel. Welcome to this video where I will show you how to fly quick approach on this beautiful Headwind Airbus A330-900 NEO. We use the same procedure as the fly-by-wire, as the cockpit is based on the fly-by-wire A320. So let me show you how to fly quick approach. So let's jump in the cockpit. Alright, we are in the cockpit. I just loaded the aircraft in Geneva on runway 22 with all the default setting. And before I forget, please subscribe to the channel. That will help me making more and more video for you. Alright, the first thing you have to do is to set your training weight. So for that we use the fly-by-wire, the EFB, sorry. So by using the EFB, you can set the weight as you like. Put your passengers. Let's put 100 passengers, 1,500 kilos of cargo, that's fine. And we are good to go, so instant. And I can take some fuel as well. So right now I have a fuel of 11 tons, so I will keep that fuel as well as a default. Good. So now that I have my training weight as I want, I can start FSiPanel and we will see how FSiPanel can set the approach quickly for us in Geneva. So you can see that even our altimeter setting is wrong. I didn't set anything, so let me start FSiPanel. Alright, FSiPanel has started. You can see that the actual weather in Geneva is a marginal VFR. We are in Geneva on runway 22 and the Headwind A330 has been detected. So for the first approach, we will try to go on the left-hand vectors, so that should be with flaps 1, on an intercept heading for the ILS runway 22 in Geneva. This is your summary. And when you click move aircraft, we will see together what is the procedures. So move aircraft, we get the window, my control, preparing your aircraft. You can see that your flaps are moving to 1+F. And now FSiPanel asks you to set your thrust levers to climb detent to start the process. So I will do that now. I move my thrust lever to climb detent. And now I have to wait. So you can see that the speed will start to increase. This is completely normal. We are static on the ground. Don't worry about it. When you see the speed around 130 knots, FSiPanel will put us in the air. Here we are in the air. And now FSiPanel will set your flight control unit, autopilot. So as always there, do not touch anything. Just wait for FSiPanel to do the job. You can see now the MCDU programming. FSiPanel will set everything for you, for your approach. At the end, you're still responsible to make sure that everything has been set properly, but you can see that the weight has been inserted just now. We should have the ILS 22 now in the box. That's it. And now we will go to the performance page where the weather information will be set. So now you will see your QNH 1017, temperature, the wind, and that's it. Now what FSiPanel is waiting for is for the aircraft to stabilize at 3,700 feet. You can see that the speed has been set to manage and the aircraft will fly the S-Bug. And that's about it. Now we are ready to take over the control. As you can see, FSiPanel is telling us aircraft ready. Switch beacon light off to take control. So what I have to do now is just switch off my beacon. I don't need to switch it back on. FSiPanel will do it for you. So just switch it off. And as you can see, the light is back on. And now the aircraft is flying and you can arm your approach. Second command if you want. And you are ready to fly your approach in Geneva. This is how to fly vector position. So let me show you now a long final, for example. So I will just deselect the approach there on the aircraft and I will go in FSiPanel and I will choose now a long final. And for example, this is the setting that you have for that approach. If you go to setup, fly-by-wire, you get the default setting that FSiPanel will use for all your approaches that you program with quick buttons. So it will program the FMC, the default auto brake will be low, and the default landing flaps will be full. You will have an after landing flow, and you want FSiPanel to set manage speed on final. If you are not happy with that, you can deselect the set manage speed on final. Now, these buttons, sometimes I get the question, what is this button here, flaps full? So now, for example, I would like to do a long final in Geneva, but I would like to land with flaps 3. So I can select flaps 3, and that will not change my default setting. So this is just for this particular approach. Right, so we are ready to go. So now I will click Move Aircraft. And FSiPanel is bringing the gear down. As you can see, the flaps are moving to flaps 3. I have to set my thrust levers to climb. They were already. And now FSiPanel is doing the job. We don't touch anything as always. And you will see the MCDU programmation again, done by FSiPanel. My lever is in climb, yeah. Sometimes it's very sensible with the thrust levers. So if you get that message here, make sure you are in the detent. So now we are going for a flaps 3 landing. So that should be set as well by FSiPanel. So you should see your CDU program with a land 3. So let's see if that happened in the next page, in the performance page.
2,500.
Now we're going to have a QNH entered again. Temperature, wind, and now we should see flaps 3. So we have flaps 3, and if we go overhead panel, we can see that the landing flap 3 has been selected as well. So everything is done. As you can see, we are on long final. I have my thrust lever that needs to go to climb, that's it. And now FSiPanel is telling me that I can switch the beacon light off to take control. So let's do that. Off. Now I will get the control, and I just need to arm the approach. Command, and as you can see, localizer is captured, and glide slope is alive. We will get on the approach very quickly. All right, so I will fly the approach, and I will show you the after landing flow in Geneva. So see you on the ground. All right, here we go for landing. My last landing on that aircraft was too long. The flare was initiated too early and I was floating. So let's see if that one is better.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Oh, that's a hard landing. We'll see if FSiPanel will say it's a hard landing. Right. Okay, reversers. We have decel. 60 knots, out of reversers and manual braking. All right, let me show you now two things, the after landing flow, and as well I will show you the bad landing report. We should have a very positive landing there. Yeah, I need some training on that aircraft. It's not that easy to land, and this is why I love to use FSiPanel. All right, so vacate the runway to the left, and let's have a look at the after landing flow feature on the Airbus A330. It's the same procedure for the Airbus 320 fly-by-wire. So the features allow you to taxi the airplane safely while FSiPanel is playing the first officer. So what you need to make sure is that your speed is below 30 knots. And then what you have to do to start the flow is just retract one notch of your flaps. So I will retract now the flaps one notch, as you can see, and FSiPanel is taking over and will set all the lights as required. Start the APU. You can see the lights have been switched off. Taxi light on, APU is starting. The strobe lights are off. The flaps are up. We have the speed brake retracted, flap 0, and the weather radar and everything has been switched off. So now you can taxi your airplane safely to the gate without having to worry about the after landing flow. All right, let's have a quick look at this landing report. I don't think it's gonna be a nice one. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, on center line. For me, it was a heavy landing, but it didn't report as heavy. I'm happy. Autopilot was flying nicely down the approach, so that's the job of the autopilot. And that's it. Now you have this new feature here. You can save that landing report if you want. So if you click on it, now the landing report is saved, and you will find it under landing report, where you can see all your landing reports. The landing report with a red indication means that something went wrong. So if you open that landing report, you will see why it was wrong. And the last one we did is here. I can open it and see it here. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please subscribe to the channel and stay safe. See you next time for another video. Bye bye.